listening to the Woken Up Woken Podcast. Woke up, friends. Well, welcome. Episode 7. We got Nick in the building.
Nicholas, what up, brother?
Chilling in his study. Is that the study? Is that the den?
Hell no.
You look very sophisticated.
Yeah, very civilized.
Thank you.
Sophisticated. So welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I almost forgot.
The hell you?
Yeah, let's give a round of applause for Nick.
I was trying not to drink into the microphone.
Good
job, Joe.
A mechanical cow's udder or something there. So what is that contraption you're drinking from?
I'm trying to get sponsored by Yeti. That's why I held it that way. So
Nice.
Well,
you know what?
I need a Yeti cooler.
Since
this great.
Nick's here, I know we just talked about what we were gonna do, but I just thought of something. Nick is kind of the reason like we're doing what we're doing here as far as being on radio and talking. You know, Nick, you started this.
This is true.
Nick, DSL Radio.
Nick had a podcast before it was even called a podcast.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, maybe.
Internet radio. That's right.
Internet radio wasn't a thing until, you're right, until DSL radio. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's where I met you guys for the first time.
Yep.
Through our light-skinned friend.
Yep.
Our waffle buddy.
Shout out to Colin, King Colin. Saw him earlier today.
Shout out to Colin. Oh, he's coming out the house now? That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it was great. It was called the CNN show. That's what it was called.
Was it really?
Yeah, CNN show. It was. We actually had a name for it. It was the CNN show.
Now, wait, was it
Colin and Nick?
It was just you guys?
Yeah, it was just.
And then you had
Colin
a couple of people after that.
Yeah,
you had another guy that was a comic, right?
Yeah, that was Ron, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I think he was there as well. But our show was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it was
I
kind of
remember.
fun.
The cool thing about that was the interactive, like the comments. So there'd be a chat room going on while they're doing the internet radio. So it like fed the show. So that was great.
Yeah,
and those were during the BlackBerry days. So everybody would drop their BBMs in the chat, and then like the next day at work, everybody's chatting about what you were talking about on the show the night before. So that was fun. I miss those days.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was some good days. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, behind the scenes, that was some other stuff, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
The first time though first and only time me and Joe got on one time. I remember I had moved apartments, so I actually had 2 apartments. We moved downstairs. I had the upstairs one free and all the equipment there. So we went up and called into the show, and it was like we were like an instant hit. I don't know. We were just on. And
it was classic episode.
You guys were like the trolls of the of the chat room. It was ridiculous, man. Like we would know when you guys come into the chat room. Everybody would be like, "Oh, there they go again! There they go again!" And I'm just sitting there like, "Oh my god, Colin, your friends are horrible."
Comic relief, but it's good times.
It was some great times.
It prepared us for this. Now, Joe's a professional.
Yeah.
Look at that microphone.
Look at this thing.
Sure, Mike.
Rose looking like the way you touch that.
Rose, we're just going right into it. So what's up, bro? What are you eating? What are you snacking
on? Grapes. I just found out I'm dying.
I don't mean to laugh.
Most people say condolences or
yeah. In all seriousness,
prayers.
I was at the barbershop the other day, and they were doing free blood pressure, and I was like, I'm waiting for a cut. I was like, all right, bring my blood pressure. And normally it's, I've been warned in the past, it's a little high, but I'm in a job like sales, so it's stressful. And the guy's like, you're 160 over 100. That's bad.
That's really
I
bad.
don't know about that high.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Crazy.
So I'm thinking it's a multitude of, because I eat healthy. It's a multitude of me drinking on the weekends, like I'm a young rock star,
Mm-hmm.
and getting back from like 6 months of no stress to like,
yeah. Plus, you're doing a lot of stuff right now outside of work too.
Yeah. So that rest of my
And
body
your
is trying
age.
to.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thanks.
No, but
guys.
it's true.
Yeah.
I'm older than everybody here. And the same thing.
But-
It was I've had perfect blood pressure, bro, and then all of a sudden, once you get over 40, it was like, what? What do you mean it's high?
Yeah, no. See, the trick is, no. See, the trick is you gotta slowly just have bad blood pressure your whole life, so you just be good to go by the time you get
Joe's
older.
not a doctor.
Oh, that you reverse it.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
It's like way to catch up, guys.
Joe is not a doctor. Do not listen to that man.
So if you've not gotten your blood pressure test, I would recommend
No,
it.
I do. I
Especially during COVID.
I have a blood pressure cuff. You should get one. They sell them at Walgreens, and I monitor my own blood pressure and send it to you.
I always thought though that the stress of checking your blood pressure. So if you know it's high, it drives it higher. Yeah. So now I'm like, no, I just won't check it.
Yeah, no, that's a thing.
Can't
and that's
have high blood pressure if you don't check it.
No,
boom.
That's actually a thing. That's why they encourage people to take it at home, because automatically you go to the doctor, you're nervous. If you already have high blood pressure, you're stressing out, you're trying to calm down. So they're like, just do it at home, like every day, the same time of day when you're relaxed, the most relaxed part of the day. And then
he took it and I was 170, and then he retook it, and then I dropped to 160.
Yeah, that's
but that bottom number being high is
that's
you gotta watch.
So I'm like, and they're like, yo, how the fuck? I'm like, yeah, it can happen to anybody.
Can't kill me.
Yeah. I'm functioning. I'm a functioning guy.
Did you get your prostate checked? Serious question.
No, I've not. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a whole thing after this shit is done. Just
we all
check
should.
it all out.
We all should.
We should record that.
I know mine.
You too.
Definitely not recording that. You're on your own there, buddy.
That'd be a great show. That'd be a great after hours.
That's definitely
selfie the whole time. See the doctor behind you. Hey, doctor.
Hey.
How are both hands on my shoulder?
Why the hey with the finger? Was he drying it off?
Because I think that's what he's gonna do. Hey.
Is that like before? That's leading into it. Hey.
Yeah. I'm gonna warm you up.
This doctor's got Arsenio Hall fingers. Just like, whoa.
Yeah, long as that ET finger coming at you like,
ouch.
Jesus.
That's what we do here at Woken Up. Zero to 100.
It feels like DSL radio all over again.
That's what we do.
Definitely.
I went to
Joe.
Go ahead, Nick.
What's up?
My bad. No.
I was just talking about my restaurant.
Last week, Joe was saying that I was the reason that he moved to San Francisco, which I don't understand how.
He hated you so much, he went to the other side of the country.
Yeah.
He should hate himself. That's not on me. He should hate himself.
It put the wheels in motion. Had Colin never introduced me to Nick, I'd probably be sitting next to Ev right now.
You can't. But the thing is, you can't blame me for that, bro. Like
I don't blame you.
Like, you know what? I am going to take a leap of faith and go to the other side of the world to meet a random person I've never met before and be happy.
I did, but you set it up though. You gave me the opportunity, but
I hit you with the Stockton to Malone like assist or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just did the alley-oop and I took the leap of faith. But hey, the end result was we had a fucking great time at Taco Bell.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
Which
Can we get Taco Bell to sponsor this thing?
that'd be fucking
We should.
amazing. That'd be clutch.
We gotta get more than 12 listeners, but we're on our way.
Says who? Says who? Maybe we just get Mr. Bell to fucking listen.
That's it. You don't need anybody else.
Oh man.
That is true.
We gotta play the Cantina video.
How was everybody's weekend?
It's good.
Productive.
I went to an Italian restaurant with my family. That's why I'm still dressed. It's called Livigada.
Say it again.
Livigada.
Sounds Brazilian. Sounds Portuguese.
Is that Olive Garden?
Yeah, it was Olive Garden.
Livigada.
Yeah, it was Olive Garden. It's just, I like to dress it up a little. Margarita.
Bread.
What does it cost to take a family? What does it cost to take a family out nowadays during COVID? Is it reasonable or it still hurts?
It was better than I thought. It was like a $1.20 for 4 people with full human meals.
Really good.
For 3 people, the kids got to take turns. They get the all you can eat soup and salad.
Yeah, on the floor.
Was it buffet style pasta style Italian buffet style?
It's like all you can eat soup and salad. You get the soup, you get the salad. It's just this turn. Shut up.
But so it was good, but so I'm driving back, and the whole way I'm like coughing and like spitting paper from my paper straw that they gave me. They gave me a paper straw, and that because that's the thing now. And
they should boycott that thing.
It fucking sent me on a rant just because, like, I'm all about the environment. I'm all about, our carbon footprint in the sense that,
obviously you're not.
Well, think about it. Here's my thing. So we're so worried about plastic straws and plastic single-use thing. So what's our answer? Paper? Where does paper come from? A fucking tree. So we're gonna cut down a fucking tree rather than a little synthetic thing of plastic that we make that we can create and control. And it got me thinking, like, the problem is not the plastic. The problem is that human beings and us Americans especially, we're fucking pigs. We throw the shit out. I was in Central Park and I seen they were doing like some environment thing, and the floor is littered with whatever the fuck they brought, and that shit. It was a windy day. Goes fucking swept up by the wind into a gutter, out into the ocean, kill a fucking turtle. So just don't throw your shit on the floor.
I disagree. I blame it on the stupid fish. I see something fucking in front of me, I'm not gonna swim right into it. Like, I just go around and shit. Like, you know what I mean? We live in New York and California.
Yeah, well,
I gotta walk around garbage.
Your eyes are in front of you. Think about it. Your eyes are in front of you. A fish's eyes are on its side. They can't see.
Yeah, that's so ignorant. That's so ignorant. I say we put you in one of those mermaid outfits and let's see what you can do in the water and try to maneuver.
Merman, Dad. Merman.
Sorry, merman. I pay for that too. Let's see that.
Yeah, but that was
fish have rights too. Fish have rights too.
I mean, I just don't give straws if that's the case.
Bring your own metal straw. Bring your recyclable
but
straw.
Even that's fucking that thing about like New York City, San Francisco. They banned New York City's completely banned plastic bags. You can't even. So they hand me this fucking giant paper bag. And I'm like, wow, how many fucking trees did you kill to make all those brown paper bags that you're handing us? Like, so it's okay to fucking. It comes from a tree.
I know, but you could plant another tree.
All right. Well, what
you can make another turtle.
Not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
All right. Well, what do you think would be a good solution then? If
don't throw your shit on the floor.
Straws and but you can't. People can do that. They're stupid. So
that's the problem. That's what we should be addressing. Stop throwing your shit. We need to control our litter. Yeah, we need to control that.
So we should kill stupid people.
There you go.
God bless America. That's not going to happen.
COVID's
taking care of that. Yeah, you're right. Nah.
Not everybody's stupid that died from COVID. I will.
Right.
Big
But check it out. If you
big
see someone, if you see someone litter and they throw something or they leave it out carelessly, you should be able to run up to them and stick a straw up their fucking nose and be like, so what's gonna happen to the turtle? You fuck, throw your shit out.
You know what I used to do? Now I don't do it because of COVID. I don't want to touch people's shit. But I used to actually, when people littered, I'd pick it up right in front of them, and then I find the garbage. I look at them the whole time, and I throw it in the garbage. And that gave like a weird energy, like, sometimes like, oh, my bad, or sometimes like, whatever, fuck you. But I used to do that religiously. Now I want to get back to it because people are even worse now, especially with masks. I'm thinking about bringing just plastic gloves with me all times and just like fucking being
those plastic.
But see, the gloves, the plastic gloves aren't good. It's better to just wash your hands throughout the day because what you're doing is taking bacteria from one place and spreading it around everything that you're touching.
I'm saying I'm just pick it up and throw it out. I'm taking.
Oh, you're talking about for garbage freeze.
Okay, same thing I would do exactly.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like at work. Like FYI, those people that wear fucking gloves all day, like that's disgusting. Stop doing that.
No, you got to change it. You got to change it.
Eating the sandwich with fucking gloves.
Like, come on, man, just wash your hands. That's it. It's that simple.
Defeated the whole purpose. When I was down in Georgia, but it was the same thing. That was the first place I got the paper straws, and I was like. But they gave us the paper straws. My wife ordered a drink, and they gave it to her in a plastic cup. I'm like, so we got a paper straw, but we got a fucking plastic cup. I was like,
this ain't the club, man. No bottles
allowed. It's the same thing with being allowed inside a restaurant. It's like, so let me understand this. When I sit down, mask is off. When I stand, mask has to come on. But the whole air is just weird. Like, I'm just like, it doesn't make sense.
Have you guys seen that meme?
Pretty weird.
The one that my sister posted. It's funny. So let me get this right. We can't eat inside, but we can eat inside as long as the inside is outside. And they have that created fucking space that they make.
Tent.
Like bacteria doesn't stick to plastic. Yeah, you guys solved the riddle. Solved it.
I'm going to this is my last week. I'm done. I'm not drinking anymore. Trying to get, but on top of that, I am just going to hibernate, work out and do shows. Because I think COVID's coming hard. I mean, there's so many people that I found out it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. So I'm just going to stay away from people.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real, but here's the other thing. It's real, but genetically, I think we're already starting to adapt to it. Because our cases are surging, but the deaths aren't. And not that you want that, but it's. I just think it's going to be a reality.
Hey, the numbers are skyrocketing right now. What are you talking about?
Deaths aren't up. The cases are up, but also get this, they're testing more. So if you test more, your cases, we're testing more than we did 4 months ago. Did before. So you're gonna have more cases. They're testing everybody now. Kids going back to school and all that. So you're gonna, your numbers are gonna spike. And I'm not saying
I think there's more carriers than anything.
Yeah. I'm not saying.
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, well,
we shouldn't do anything. We're just gonna.
I have a senior that lives with me, so I have to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, like my parents, I can't. Like they're mad at me. Like, we don't see you anymore. I'm like, I fucking work in the city, and it's not. I trust myself, but I don't trust other people. Yeah. Other people who've come up to me, I don't know what they've done. I was reading this post about this lady who, she's like, yeah, her kid tested positive for COVID. But she sent them to school anyway because she had already made plans to go do this and that. I was like, so people are really that irresponsible, like,
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it's not going to affect my kid. He's strong. He's got a strong. It's not about you. It's about
or the people that have a cough or feeling sick. Like, just stay your ass home. Like, one day, figure it out.
Agreed.
Like, why take the risk of going in there and infecting so many other people?
Here's the other thing.
Can I play this for my boss when I call out of work Tuesday? Because I still feel like shit.
Good luck with that.
It's just play. Look, listen what this guy said in the bottom. Like, I could just stay home.
Here's the other thing. This wouldn't be so bad and it goes back to my point about humans being fucking pieces of shit, dirty pieces of shit. We can't throw out our garbage. And we can't fucking wash our hands and do things like that.
Tonight, bro. I'm so angry.
Half the planners on it today, boy.
Damn, bro.
I just want to go
And
back
another
to normal. Here's another thing that bothers me.
Over straw angry.
Fuck your turtles.
I think
Tell him why you mad, son. Tell
Ev is having his
I blame
falling down moment.
I'll blame the paper
Yeah.
straws, man. I'll blame the paper straws. Poor Ed was
For
triggered
real,
by
why?
paper straws. That's
I'm
crazy.
watching a commercial and it's saying, New Yorkers, don't forget to wash your hands and do. I'm like, you should fucking wash your hands anyway. Who are these people that don't wash their fucking hands and don't
work in the
cough
fish.
into your arm?
It goes
Like, see how,
like crazy how many guys don't wash their hands. It's you would
Oh,
go insane.
It is.
I work in a hotel.
Now people wash
Kitchen
their
people.
hands, but in the past,
Yeah.
it's awful. Oh, I'm sure kitchen people.
Right, and that's what I mean. This shit wouldn't even be a pandemic if everybody was just fucking from jump. Did the right hygienic thing, but
Yeah, but most people are saying it's encroaching on their amendments. Like, oh, you're taking away my freedom. Like, no, you're an idiot.
you're a
That's why you don't
fucking
die.
dirty slob. That's what it is. Throw out your straws,
Fuck your
wash your
freedom.
hands, cover your face when you cough. It's pretty simple.
Ev for
Sorry.
president
Sorry, guys.
2024.
Yeah.
Trying to get everybody woke.
Paper straws.
Want to be woke? Here, I'm woken up woke.
F your paper straws,
Wash your
son.
fucking face. Wash your hands. You'll be woke.
Mr. Evan,
Yes,
how do you
yes.
feel about global warming and its effects on the environment? Make another turtle.
Turn off the heat. That's how I feel. Won't be so warm. Turn off the heat.
So we're gonna just make another turtle t-shirts made. That's gonna be your slogan.
You should definitely do that.
Plant another tree. Make another turtle. Get down tonight.
That's a t-shirt.
Earth
That's
2024.
That's definitely a t-shirt.
Plant another
I'm all
tree.
for that.
Oh man.
So, bro, you had proposed. What was the question you had asked about the movies?
Yeah, so I was thinking the other day, I was like, what are the best movie intros? Like the first 2 to 3 minutes to just like set the movie off for you, like, oh my God, this is gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the movie was bad, just the intro was amazing. You're like, oh, I love this. So I started thinking, and I'll just do one for now, right quick. But I love A Bronx Tale. And this one scene, when Cologino is talking about, he's narrating the scene, and you can hear doo-wop in the streets, right, of Brooklyn, and that's my house. And on warm summer nights, all through the neighborhood, you would hear young Italian men romancing their women. Hey, Marie, get in the fucking car. Now, get in the car. Leave me alone. You know I love you, baby. Yeah, bullshit. Get in the fucking car. And that scene was just, and again, I'm missing the doo-wop in the back scene and everything, but that whole scene, I was like, you can hear Italian men romancing their girls, and I was like, holy shit. Growing up in Staten Island, having Italian friends, that's just how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it was just, and that was the time of like Goodfellas, Casino, like all those big mobs.
Believe in God.
And he didn't need explosions or anything big. It was just a nice, just boom, nice pan scene, brothers by the fire, singing some doo-wop, and then that intro of Brooklyn is beautiful.
It's funny. My dad, he loves that movie, and that's one of the reasons why, because he's like, yeah, that was me when I was a kid. Me and my friends used to stand on the corner and do doo-wop. And like, it's true though, because when they used to have like their softball games with the old timers and the young guys, they would stand on the side and just start doing doo-wop. I mean, it was pretty bad. But
really?
Yeah, like, I mean, it wasn't bad, but they thought they were
when they
better
were winning,
than they were. Like,
when they were winning,
both. It depended. If they were winning, it was a little upbeat. If they were losing, it was like doo-doo.
It was like freestyling today, right?
Yeah, basically,
yo, kick
that's
a
what it
freestyle.
was.
Yo,
that's what it was.
Kick a doo-wop real quick. All right.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
I actually have that. I have the
Bring it
West Side
back.
Story on vinyl.
You have what on vinyl?
Really?
The West Side Story.
Really?
Yeah, man, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
So I heard, I think it was in September, they said vinyl sales beat CD sales for the first time since like the 80s.
Since vinyl?
That is correct.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
It's vinyl.
It's been a huge resurgence on like collecting records and stuff again. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You can buy record players now, like at Target and Walmart. You can buy a record player, which is cool.
Also at Urban Outfitters, the Urban Outfitters has really been giving them life for the young kids that really didn't know about all this classic music, and then it's actually interesting now to put a new artist on vinyl. To hear that, so that must be interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't bought any new artists on vinyl, but
I mean, I agree with Nicolas Cage. I think it sounds better.
Yeah,
it sounds really
has a certain quality.
Like some of the newer artists, like West Side Gun, even Kendrick Lamar, some of these people, like they're putting their music on vinyl now.
Nice,
because people collect it as like art pieces for their houses.
Yeah, I think that's
and
cool.
stuff like that.
Yeah. If you have a sick album cover, I mean that is art, right?
I was always a big fan of that, like the artwork that comes with it, the album credits, and the other stuff that you get with it.
Yeah. There used to be like my dad had the one of the I think it was the Up in Smoke Cheech and Chong vinyl. And that one came with like a huge rolling paper. Like you pulled it out of it. He kept it. He never used it, surprisingly.
The Rolling Stones had Andy Warhol, who designed a record, and it was and it was like a pair of pants and a zipper, and you could actually take the zipper down, and then it was like underwear.
Cool.
And that's like a collector's piece.
Shit, I wonder how much that's worth.
Oh, that's worth a couple hundred.
I have it. Well, my parents had it, so I don't know.
I saw, I think, an Alice Cooper record once. There's actual underwear in the record sleeve, like white frilly underwear. That's how they shipped it. He just shipped it out with this white frilly underwear.
Yeah.
And I think that record was going for like $150.
Really? Just for the underwear.
$150 for it on vinyl. Just for the underwear. Not for the music. Just for the underwear.
Yeah, no, because you got those freaks out there that love shit like that. So they tapped into a whole different demographic. So have you heard the new album?
Word.
Great.
Smells great.
Smells great. Yeah, Rolling Stones Sticky Fingers. That was the name of the album.
Yeah,
designed
it was
by Andy Warhol.
All right.
Anybody have any other movies intros that they're a fan of?
Yeah, I have one that when you first proposed the question, it was the first one that popped into my head. And it's probably a pretty common one, I guess. But Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, that scene. That's it.
The whole scene with Christoph Waltz. Waltz when he when you first see him and he goes to the guy's house and they're looking for the Jewish people hiding out, and what man, there's just so much in that scene. The tension in the scene, how they start speaking in French, and he asks him politely, like if he can escort his girls could leave the room, because he asked his soldiers to leave and just out of respect, and he's like, yeah, of course. And he asked them to leave, and they're speaking in French, and he says in French in the most eloquent way, he's like, unfortunately I've exhausted the amount of French that I can speak, and if he said this beautiful shit in French and was like, I understand you know how to speak English, would you mind if we switch over? I was like, that's such a subtle way
but so nonchalant. He was just like, do you mind?
Yeah, and the whole time it was just a mind fuck, because the guy knew that there was people under the house, and so
he's a great actor, man.
I like the whole milk scene. He asks for a glass of milk. He sits there, and he's just so chill. And I guess that's how a lot of those guys were back then, right? Because they knew you couldn't mess with me.
Yeah, they were
I'm the head of this shit. This is what I do. I kill people. Yo, this is what I do.
Yeah, when the
guy was untouchable.
Yeah. When the guy's smoking the pipe in his house and he's like, do you mind if I smoke? And he pulls out his, and it's like fucking 10 times the size of his. Like it's like, come on. There's all the symbolism, it's just, that for me, that's one of my favorite. And it does set the tone for that movie, because I mean, the rest of the movie fucking lives up to the intro, I think. So
That's a good one. Good one.
Definitely a good one.
yeah.
So mine, I did 3, like the homework assignment said. So but my first,
I did
one,
3 as well.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
3 as well. I want
We go
everybody to do
back.
one time around.
So
We'll come back.
My other ones aren't as good.
my first 2 kind of go together, but I'll do.
Just do one.
I'm gonna do one, but I'm explaining the correlation. But so the first one, the first 2 that I picked, both of them take place in the Pacific Northwest, and they were so atmospheric. It made me like I always wanted to go there and visit. Like it's like I need to go out there. Like it calls me. So this first one is the movie Goonies, and the beginning of that with the whole setting in I think it's Portland or wherever the hell it's in. Astoria, Oregon or Washington. But that's wherever it takes place. But it takes place there. And it's set in like fall, and you have the falling leaves and all that. And then just the whole thing when they go into the attic, and it's like real mysterious, and it sets like the whole tone for the movie of going on this adventure. And I remember seeing that and being young and like, it's like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to go on an adventure. And then when they leads up into them going to the restaurant, and they're on the shores of the Pacific Ocean's crashing there, and they want to sneak into this restaurant. So I always thought it was something that touched me.
So
you actually just gave the movie. You didn't even give the intro. The intro is when the mob family is being chased.
The Fratelli chase. It's the Fratelli chase.
Fratelli's broken out of jail.
I'm going with the
siren is going on.
This is what happens when you don't listen.
The first hour and a half of the 2-hour movie. I'm gonna.
Teacher tells you one thing, you just go off and say whatever.
That's my favorite opening scene. Was in the well to get all the money. That's my favorite scene.
All right, so Ev, being that movie touched you so much as a kid, how'd you feel when you finally can't, like, for instance, eat the Pacific Northwest, right? When we went to, like, say Land's End, which is very similar to like that scene in Goonies. Like, how did it, because I know how that's when I discovered that area, that was like, and to this day it's one of my favorite places here in
well, think about it, guys. When we were all out there, the 4 of us were all out there for Joe's wedding, and there was a couple times you guys called me and were like, "Hey, where you at?" And I'm sitting on the side of a mountain looking down at the Pacific Ocean, and I'm fucking listening to my music, and I'm reminiscing back to Goonies. Like, yeah, I'm a Goonie right now, you know.
I'm a Goonie.
Goonies
is that in the movie?
Goonies never die, bro.
Goonies never die.
Oh my
God. It was funny. I put it on like Instagram.
Christ, Ro.
And Ro was like, Ro like commented on my post like,
"It's a little toxic, Ro. It's a little toxic."
Yeah.
Well, I took a run that morning. The run was great, like over the hill into Taco Bell. I think I took a run to Taco Bell the next day.
You did.
Nice.
You did.
It was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, good
water.
Goonies, yeah. That's a good. I
Ed
love
loves
Goonies.
water, by the way.
Goonies
is a classic. It's classic.
Yeah.
It's up
Definitely
there.
a classic.
Yeah, but the whole beginning of that movie, it always sticks with me. Anytime I see it and it comes on, it's also my wife's favorite movie. But I gotta like play it off like I don't like it. So because she'll watch it all the time and she'll be like, "Oh, Goonies is on this," and I'm just like, it sucks. Meanwhile, then I'm in the back like watching it. Like,
I can vouch for that, because the one time I didn't enjoy watching Goonies was with you guys, because I'm not gonna say her name because I don't know if she wants her name said, but she basically like spoke the movie word for word as they were saying the lines, like verbatim. I'm like,
that's horrible.
Yeah. Because like that's one of those movies here, or like her and her family watch, so they all know it, so they all.
It's like, yeah. Okay.
Nick, you got one?
I didn't do the homework because I was.
He said West Side Story.
Man.
He's got the album there.
Okay, Maria, nice job.
No. I think.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think. What is that? Face Off with Nicolas Cage and
Face Off.
Ooh, that's a good answer. That's a really good
answer.
answer.
Yeah, when
Damn, I forgot about
When
it.
Homeboy said, "Wee, what a predicament." I really everything about that show was pretty dope. I like that. That was one of my favorite. Like the intro to the whole like and Nicolas Cage going crazy and being Nicolas Cage-ish, acting like a nut for no reason. It was fun. It was fun.
A lot of people don't know. There's a movie called Ricochet. It's with Denzel Washington and John Lithgow. I always call it the original Face Off because they literally become each other's characters, and they're crazy just like Face Off is. But they didn't have technology at that time to do that.
Is that the one? I'm sorry. Is that the one where John Lithgow plays like a psycho?
Yeah. Exactly like how Nicolas Cage's character is in that movie. But again, you just can't take the face off.
Mm-hmm.
But they switch personalities.
Nice.
And it's crazy to see that. And then when I saw Face Off, I was like, oh shit, this is like Ricochet, but I forget when Face Off came out, but a 1990 something version.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But it's really good. You got young Denzel. Mm-hmm. You got young John Lithgow, but still bald. I don't know how it's possible.
Yeah.
He's always been bald.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's
very possible. Nick, that's a good pick, Nick. Nice job. Not doing the homework. That's a good pick.
Thank you.
Real quick, how do you guys feel about Nicolas Cage? I feel like he gets a bad rap.
Well, it only got a bad rap because he owed money. He lost money with the what's the guy?
No. I mean, it's not like him personally. I mean, like his acting. Like I've
his acting's great. That's my point though.
Okay.
He's had to force other movies out, which I think I hate to say it. You guys might look at me like I'm crazy, but Keanu Reeves, they're very similar, right? In terms of like they can go one lane, but they do that one lane really well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain movies I don't want to see Keanu Reeves in.
Oh, yeah. Keanu's always agreed. Keanu and
right.
Exactly. Nicolas, and so is Nicolas Cage is always Nicolas Cage.
And that's how I feel about Tom Cruise, honestly. That it's hard for me to not see Tom Cruise in a lot of his movies. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Like Valkyrie, I was just like, why am I watching this? I don't. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I don't know. Just there's a lot of roles. Like I love him in action and that lane, but when he tries to be a thespian, I don't know.
Few Good Men? Few Good Men?
Still Tom Cruise-ish.
Yeah, still the kind of young, full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah, his best performance was in the fucking what's the one with
I don't remember
the Robert Downey Jr. and Ben Stiller and where he plays Les.
I thought that was great.
Acting in that, that was like great. I was like, man, he's really acting in it.
Tropic Thunder was amazing.
Tropic Thunder.
End of Tropic Thunder. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna throw it into the group. Tropic Thunder intro is one of the best intros to any movie.
Yes.
Because you were so messed up because you didn't know like what's going on. Is this actual trailer?
Yeah, those were fucking great.
I don't know how many movies it took you to. I think it was either because it's the black guy's video first, right?
Booty Sweat is
first, and then I think Jack Black
was it
is
Al
second.
Pacino or something like that.
Yeah, and then Jack Black does like the fat people version of and then the third one, which was the best, is with Tobey Maguire and Iron Man, and I never laughed so hard in my life.
That was with the priests, right? What the hell was the name of that?
The music
and the name of it. That's funny.
Bro.
But that set the movie, and I was like, no, this is because I really thought these were like serious films. Like, and then Zoolander,
he did Ice Jack.
So it was great, and then he did the Ice Guy, like the superhero normal movies, and then they never thought it would melt.
Yeah,
now it's melted.
Oh my God.
It was so over the top. I'm so shocked they didn't do it too. I think you've kind of passed that bar to do it too at this point. But
he got so much flack for that movie, so that's why he just.
Who did?
Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had to do like a whole apology tour and all that.
Really?
One because
Simple Jack.
Because of
but
Robert
Simple
Downey
Jack,
Jr.
because they and Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface.
I've never heard Robbie Downey Jr. say he had it. Yeah, because he got away with that.
I mean, it was,
yeah.
I mean, but it makes sense. He's playing, a white guy who's, so out of touch that he goes blackface. Like that's what it's part of the movie. But yeah, they got flagged for it. Like 20 years later, and he had to do an apology thing. And
lucky they made it when they did. That would have never flagged down today.
That would definitely never. That would have been shut down instantly.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. Yeah.
That's actually supposed to be a show too. Dre wants to be here for that one.
Yeah, that's on the list.
So I was gonna go and say Reservoir Dogs.
Nice.
And there's a table scene. And so when I saw this movie, in high school, we used to hang out with this girl, Jasmine. She was like loaded. Lived out in Eltingville. If you know Eltingville and Staten Island, that's where the money is. Her parents had an Olympic-sized pool, and it was my first ever CD that you saw a movie on a CD. Now, this is the big, like
laser
actually
disc.
like the big ass laser disc, and she got to place it in ever so gently, and I'm like, oh my god! And this is going to be my first Quentin Tarantino movie on top of that.
Wow!
So like, not only my first Laserdisc movie, but it was also my first Quentin Tarantino movie. And so I was just like, oh my god! As a young black kid too, I was like, what is this shit? I was like, white people are crazy. But that opening scene, and I think we've all been at a diner with our boys, and the conversation that goes on. Theirs is more of like they're getting ready for a heist, but it just puts you in like so many different places. And the code names they had, Mr. Pink, Mr. White, Mr. Green, and also, there's always that one guy that never wants to tip. He's like, all right, put the money back. So it hit on just so many things, especially being, going from high school to college and, going all those things. So I love that intro. It's one of my favorite movies. It's a great acting movie because you really see like the acting chops of Steve Buscemi, Harvey Keitel, and they really just show a great role.
That's one of the reasons why Tarantino is one of my favorite, because for one, his dialogue, he has this knack of getting actors to do the dialogue the way he would do it. Because when I hear people speaking in his movies, sometimes if I close my eyes, it sounds like him when he's in an interview and he goes on his rants and he's just kind of like just shooting stuff. That fast-paced dialogue where they're just back and forth in the cuts, or just kind of, it keeps that kind of that static tension there when they're speaking, especially in that scene, because you feel something's about to happen. They're talking about the heist and stuff like that.
I didn't think about that. We have 2 Quentin Tarantino movies already on this.
You could pretty much. I didn't. You could pretty much pick any.
You do all his.
The intros are always.
Pulp Fiction, great. All those things.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like that.
Ev, you're up.
Well, Joe, would you? Do you have a second one, or you only did one?
I got 3. This one I actually have, and I have a honorable mention too. It's a really obscure one, but this one is it's a little more lighthearted. It's for the kids because we love the children. And it's my favorite Disney movie, and it's The Lion King. The intro to The Lion King, Simba being born, the music, all the animals. Yes. Like if that does not get you charged up to what you're about to witness, because you're already like, hey, it's a Disney movie.
You know what the great thing about that was, though? It's all drawings. This is before they did the animation on computer. I mean, these are so that whole scene with the animals and the sun set and all whatever.
Yeah,
that's all artwork. So like every frame is a piece of art. So.
No, definitely. That to this day, when I hear that, or if I see that intro, at the very least, I have to watch the intro just because it gives me chills. But yeah,
interesting. All right.
Not bad. I would have picked that too. That's a really good one, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. I hate the remake though. By the way, I'll just throw that one out there.
Trash.
It wasn't awful.
No.
It wasn't awful,
Trash.
But it also wasn't necessary.
Trash.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
But anyway, F, you got?
I have an
anything?
issue with that though. I have an
What's
issue
that?
with that.
Yeah, I think that's
When they
the remakes.
remake
We could do
movies
we could
that
do
were
them.
already great
Mhm.
for the new generation, yeah, they need to stop.
They're talking about remaking Goonies, so you know. Yeah.
No,
I'll take it. Hear me out. With all the kids from on Netflix.
Stranger Things, kids.
Yeah, I'll take them. Take them in it. I will allow
just
that.
do another movie. Just do another one.
That was my thing with
because you can
Stranger
have the kids
Things.
and the kids find another thing, like you know.
That was my thing. Why I felt Stranger Things was so successful because it had a feel of Goonies, but it was still like an original thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had the '80s vibe, had the group of kids, but it wasn't right. But it was still its own thing, and that's why I liked it. You know. But I don't know. But see, it's hard to tell because I did on the Man a Few Words podcast. I talk about the Cobra Kai. I don't know, remake or revisit. You know what I mean? It's reboot, and I loved it, and I wasn't expecting to. I thought it was gonna be like terrible. So
that's more the sequel route. It's not necessarily. Like you said, reboot, revisit. When they remake the movies, like they're gonna do another Scarface. And it's the same kind of thing. I'm like, why?
No,
don't touch it.
It's not going to have the same feel.
I heard an interesting thing the other day. They said the reason why they're redoing so many movies is because Hollywood is so scared to venture and do new things because of cancel culture. And we could probably save this for that podcast, but that's one of the reasons. There's so many topics that they feel are out of bounds, so why not just stick with something that's already been done?
It's a safer movie.
I heard it was cheaper. I heard it was just cheaper.
Well, they already own.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
How is it cheaper? They own the rights to the movie, so but they still have to have someone come in and do rewrites and
I guess that is a safe move.
It's a safe place.
That's like, hey, let's do Jumanji with Jack Black, The Rock, and Kevin Hart. We can't miss with that. You know what I mean?
Which
true.
No, I thought I went in there with hate. I don't care what anybody says.
So
I thought they were both good. I thought the second one was better than the first one.
Second was better than the first one.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the first one better. I wasn't crazy about the second one, but I thought they were still both good. Okay. And I was surprised that I was expecting, like, why'd they do this? Like, you can't just throw all these names and expect it to be good. Yeah. I was like, holy shit,
also
this
because
is actually funny.
It's not really a remake. Again, it's like a revisit.
Yeah.
So they go to the same, thing.
But bro, I got to take my hats off. The acting chops I don't. In movies wise, I think Kevin Hart just throws a movie out. I like his comedy better than his movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock can do whatever. He's very multifaceted, but the fact that he did Danny DeVito, right?
Yeah.
And that Kevin Hart did Danny Glover. Yeah. When I tell you, they did them perfect. Yeah, Jack Black killed it in the first one because he did the female, and that was like he knocked it out of the box. Yep. But then to do it the other way around, I was like, yo. So I got to take my hat up for the second one, just based on those two characters.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, to get to Nick's. Nick, you were saying about how they're rebooting movies. I have to say this. I'm sorry. And it's tough, right? Because our cartoon version is way better than the live version because of Robin Williams. You know where I'm going with this. Mm-hmm. Aladdin reboot. So, quick story. Before everything shut down, I did Movie Pass. It was like $20 a month. I could see any movies I want. So I normally have like a Thursday or Friday off, like randomly with my job. So I was like, I'm going to go to the movies. It's the summertime. I'm going to see Aladdin, right? This is the perfect time to see it. I get it. See it. Boom. I have my hoodie on, my shades on. I go to the movie there and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, I look like a pedophile. I'm just going to see Will. I didn't know.
Oh, man.
You can't go like this to a kid's movie.
Definitely
I was like,
not, bro.
Yeah, so I'm like taking my shit off. Luckily, there was a couple like younger, like teens, like watching next to me. Like, okay, whew. But otherwise, like every mom was like, this is very, very weird.
It's not less creepy.
Less creepy.
Yeah. And so anyway, I'm watching Aladdin. I'm like, how are they gonna do this? Because Robin Williams set the bar, And that's the difference between Lion King, the reboot of Lion King versus like there's a bar, but not like what Robin Williams set for Aladdin, right? And so I'm watching it and I love what Will did, and I have to take my hat off to him, whether you liked it or not. But I like how he owned Aladdin for itself, and he did like a hip hop version of Aladdin. I was like, wow. And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, it's ballsy as hell, because they were hating on him. Oh, he's blue. He looks like this. He looks stupid. They ripped that movie apart, and it did well. And it was like, matter of fact, it was his #1 grossing film.
Wow.
As many films as he's done as hits. It was his #1 grossing.
I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard mixed reviews.
Yeah,
I think I've heard more people liking it than not liking it.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. I saw it. It came out and I just let it sit there. It came out on video and I was like, why? Because I was the same thing. I was like, why would they fucking do this? Why? And then my daughter's watching it right from the beginning, and I just sat down and I got sucked in. I was like, this is fucking good. I kept saying it. My daughter's like, shut up. I'm like, this is good. This is good.
Why would you tell your daughter that, man? That's crazy.
Because I'm like telling myself, like, this is good. I'm expecting it to be so bad, and just everything. I'm like, this is actually good. This is what you would want to see when you see a live action. Like, they took advantage of the technology where you can take something that was a cartoon and make it look realistic. And I was like, yeah, they had the right idea. And I was like, so I was shocked. I was pleasantly surprised. I kept saying, this is good.
Yeah, that's gonna be next time.
And once you do the whole, it's not, no one's gonna be Robin Williams and be like that. So yeah, I thought it was good.
I don't expect much from anything anymore as far as movies and TVs. So the lower I keep my expectations, the happier I am after I watch stuff. Because I don't know. A lot of times I'm just like, oh, here we go. Like Fargo. I don't know if you guys watched that yet. The series, not on Netflix.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm good, bro.
Fucking great.
Check it out. We'll talk about that once you guys have watched a little bit of it.
My brother. Every
Is it
time
on
I see him,
or
it's on Netflix.
Hulu.
Oh, Hulu. Sorry,
Hulu.
Yeah, my brother. Every time, like, we always talk about, like, so we don't, we don't see each other for a while, and then when we catch up, we always go through movies. Like, have you seen this? I've seen this, because we have similar taste. And he's like, we watch Fargo yet? I'm like, no. And he's like, you gotta watch Fargo. I'm like, So literally, the last 2 weekends, I watched all 3 seasons, and I'm up to. And I mean,
are you up to the Chris Rock one? I'm still on the second. Yeah. I'm still on the second season. So I got a ways to go. I might binge watch this weekend.
Yeah. I'm up to. I haven't started the Chris Rock season.
I was blown away. He's killing.
I was blown away by the writing and the acting and everything in every season was.
Yeah.
My brother was telling me, he's like, the second one's the best, but. I thought the first one was great. And I was like, and I didn't think I was gonna like it because I like the movie so much. I'm such a huge fan of the movie. I'm like, they're just good. So it's similar, but it's not. Yeah.
Good.
So we can do that another one. That's good shit, though.
Cool.
So
sorry, F.
Yeah, I didn't do my second movie, and sticking with the Pacific Northwest. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And Joe, you know how my family is with movies. This is one of those movies where we know every line from the movie. And turns out this
weird. Sorry.
Yeah,
that is some weird
stuff. It is
they know like the most obscure weird lines that they speak their own language.
This movie is First Blood. It's the original Rambo movie. And it's First Blood.
It's a good one, man.
The beginning of that whole thing with him, the drifter, and walking into a new town and then getting harassed by a cop, and the cop drives him out of town, and you got the big mountains looming and the rain and the thunder. I just like, I want to go there. But yeah, that's one of my favorites all time.
You get tortured by cops and the townsmen?
Well, that's later on. See, I'm not even going that far. I'm just doing the beginning.
I'm just set up. I want to go there. I'm like, you ever watch a movie and be like, yeah, I know where not to go?
I just won't go to that town. But it's a funny thing about that movie. So that another one of Sylvester Stallone wrote it, directed, acted. So he did. That was one of his first movies. I think I don't know if it was before or after Rocky. I think it was after Rocky. But
side note, there's nothing funny in that movie. There's literally nothing funny in that.
In Rambo?
There's
First
not
Blood.
a funny. There's not a single funny moment in that movie whatsoever.
Oh my god.
Wait, I didn't finish. That wasn't the point. I'm trying to think, like, why are you saying that? I didn't say the movie's funny. The funny thing about this movie.
That was so weird.
There's nothing funny in the movie. The funny thing about the movie is, so when he originally shot it and did the movie and all that, and then he watched it and he went to go actually burn the movie and throw it in the trash because he hated it so much. He was like, this is fucking shit. This is the worst. This is absolute shit. And somebody was like, no, just look at it again. So what he goes and does is he cuts out all of his dialogue. He literally has like 7 lines in the whole movie, and then he has that end scene. And it comes out to like 15 lines in the entire movie. So he cut out all his dialogue. And the cut that you see now in First Blood is what you saw. It's a masterpiece.
I wonder what the lines were that he cut. Hey,
like,
lady, come over here. I'm going to save you.
Hey, yo.
Why can't I come to your town?
Apollo. I'm in another movie.
I want to come to your town and I want to eat some pancakes and you're kicking me out of your town.
I'm going to do this to you. Eh? Yeah.
Yo.
God. Yo.
It's this, bro. It's this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
James.
I've made a left somewhere.
Yeah,
You're supposed to go straight. There's no turns.
I thought we were doing the prostate.
What I got?
Keep pulling us back.
If there's anything you learned from this episode, please get your prostate checked.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's the main theme of the episode so far.
All jokes aside, very serious. Yes.
Check your prostate.
Make sure make sure your doctor has small
Get your butt
fingers.
tickled.
Yep.
Yeah. Small fingers.
Small fingers.
Yep, small.
If both hands are on your shoulders during the exam, he's doing it wrong.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are you sure it wasn't black and white and real grainy? It's a Family Guy reference.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I guess for my second one, I would have to go with Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange.
Wow.
When they were in the milk bar. And like they had the milk coming out the titties and all that stuff, and they were just sitting there looking bugged out because they're so high on whatever they were drinking in that milk. And the dude is just sitting there, just looking, while his friends is just planning on doing the most disgusting whatever. Yeah. And the language they were using as well wasn't even like traditional language for that area. They like mixed a bunch of different languages to come up with like the slangs and stuff in that movie. It's pretty dope. Stanley Kubrick was pretty dope, man. That dude was crazy. His movies were really
side note. What was everybody's first nipple on the big screen?
Ooh.
Wow,
that's a I was young.
I think it was
tough, right?
one of the Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
If it was like Friday the 13th, one of those.
It would have to be
and my mom couldn't cover my eyes fast enough.
It was either Evil Dead or American Werewolf in London. If there's a titty in either one of those, that was my first.
Wow,
I think mine came from. No, go ahead, Ev. My bad.
What Joe just said that's my third movie on the list. American Werewolf in London. Yes.
Oh, that's fucking.
But there's a titty scene with the nurse, and
yeah.
That was one of my first titties too.
Nice. That was a nice one too.
Mine came from. You guys ever heard of Heavy Metal?
The magazine?
It was like this. It was like an adult cartoon.
Yeah. Well,
I remember back in the day.
It started as a magazine, and then the sort of weird anime.
They made it into a movie, and that's Yeah, it was some. I remember I was maybe 8.
So
and
a
I popped
cartoon
it in
nipple.
VHS. And yeah, so popped it in. My neighbor was like, "Oh, what's it?" I say, "Oh, it's a cartoon." And he saw homegirl getting wrecked.
Yeah.
He called my mom right away. I got washed. Yo, I got washed. She's like, "Why you got your son looking at this nastiness?" And I'm like, "Man,
Damn.
No more soup for you.
nope."
I think I have a toss up between Porky's and Weird Science.
Oh, Weird
Ooh,
Science.
ooh.
Wow.
There was no
I'm
titty in
honestly-
Weird Science.
No.
There is in the shower.
No, it's PG. Weird Science is PG.
Yeah, I know they took it away. But she's like, you see her nipple. That was
Rose saw her.
It was nipple through the shirt.
all that matters.
100%.
Nipple to the shirt.
Nipple through the shirt. Because I remember that.
100%.
Hey, and that
100%,
counts. I
nipple
mean,
to
that
shirt.
counts.
That counts.
That was-
Porky's, that was actually my first like free the nipple.
Yeah.
And that you had to like have somebody had cable, and you had to have some
Yeah.
Porky's cable on your.
Yeah, I couldn't watch Porky's too. That was
Yeah.
one of those ones I had to see. Oh, Porky's is on.
Porky's
there's a whole
was
bunch of different
infamous
cuts
for
of
me.
it.
Like
Very,
I
very.
didn't know. Like I thought of the sickest shit when I finally sat down to watch Porky's. I was so disappointed because I was expecting Caligula. Like the way it was. Seriously, everybody was like Porky's, and I was just like, damn, like what the hell is this movie about? And then I saw it, I was like, oh, all right. Well, I mean, it's cool, but
And I have to give an honorable mention to Total Recall with the 3 nipples.
Oh,
3 nipples. That was
yeah.
that's a good one. That's
Like,
a good one.
would you?
That's a good one. You pop
Real
them
quick,
joints
would
out,
you?
I'm like, oh,
That's good.
I don't know. I'm good on that. I'm good on the 3 titties, man. I'm good.
I feel like it might get in the way.
You
What
might
were you
get
gonna say,
poked in
Joe?
the eye with the other one.
I said I feel like it might get in the way.
No, you were gonna say
I
before
think
that.
it's
You were gonna
great.
say
Think about it. You grab 2 and you go to work on the other one.
wow. All right. He's in rare
Yeah,
form tonight.
I thought about this. I put a lot of thought to this.
As I like come in Tokyo.
Hold on.
Oh man.
Man.
So I'm gonna go. This is a tough one for me because I only get the last one. I'm gonna go with my favorite movie, Gladiator.
Oh, that's your favorite movie.
It is my favorite movie. It's by far my favorite movie. Also because I've been to the Coliseum, and that really brought it home for me.
Yeah.
And just that opening scene, it's cold. He's like, "This is it. We win. This is over." He's like, and it's like what we do in life echoes in eternity. And that one line, like, "Oh shit, we ready to go."
Yeah.
The fuck don't die.
Yeah.
That's the line.
It's like,
He come out. I always remember
I was
that.
like, I'm not into that. And the guy comes headless.
So the head comes rolling.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we doing.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how come people don't know when they're what does he say, when they're taken or when they've lost.
Yeah.
He's like, would you know if you were lost, or whatever like that. And so that was just a great scene. The battle's just like and everything, and then you see Russell Crowe get up. He almost kills his own boy. And he's like, "Oh, okay, we good?" And then on the horse, just slice. When the sword gets stuck in the tree, like, oh shit!
Yeah.
And so that whole battle scene. I mean, that's like old school Russell Crowe. That's like, I think that's in my mind. That's one of his best.
Yeah.
One of
That's
his
what
best
it
movies.
really introduced him to me was that movie.
Yeah. He set the bar, and I hated what's name so much in that movie.
Walking Phoenix.
I've never hated a human being
funny.
more in that movie.
We'll go back to that because it's going to segue into our next topic. But you guys hit 2 of the most hated villains in. There's a list, and we'll talk about it. But Joaquin Phoenix is one in that movie, and the other guy in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, Christoph Waltz.
Waltz. Those are 2 of the most hated, and we'll go into in a bit. But I just wanted to touch on the American Werewolf in London since Joe blew it. That was my third one, and that beginning when they're walking around the moors of England and the fog, and then you just hear, like I love werewolf movies, and there's not enough good ones. Like I can make a list of
Underworld.
hand,
Do
like,
you like it? Do you like
Sorry,
it werewolf sparkly?
Yeah, why?
Werewolf
I
sparkly.
think there's something about it. I've always said it too. Like if I was to get into filmmaking, I would make a good werewolf movie, and American Werewolf in London sets that bar.
Is that your spirit animal? Like, do you liken yourself to a werewolf? Huh?
That's why I stopped shaving.
Are you just really hairy under that shirt? Is that just?
I think it's
that's why he kept
it.
burping before, because he was transforming. It's a full moon.
Halloween, he was in costume. He didn't have to change. It's a full moon that night.
He's looking in the mirror. Jeez Louise.
So
what's your favorite? I guess that's
American Werewolf in London is my favorite.
Out of all, I like the Benicio del Toro one. That was
I hate Wolfman movies. That's what I like, the whole transformation into a monster, into something completely different. Like the Wolfman, even the original Wolfman, I didn't like. The remake of the Wolfman, and then I don't like the whole man with a hairy face thing. I like the transformation into a completely different, into an animal.
An actual.
That's why
animal.
I liked
Teen Wolf.
No,
Did you say Teen Wolf?
Different.
Yeah, that's what I said before. Jeez Louise.
Teen Wolf is different on a different. But as far as monster movie and the monster aspect, that's why I like So American Werewolf in London is my favorite. I like the Underworld series because of the way the wolves are.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Lycans?
Yep.
Yeah. And then Silver Bullet's my other one up there on the list. Stephen King, Silver Bullet, classic. It's with the kid from Goonies is in it, the one who passed away. Corey, one of the Corys.
Feldhaim.
There's Feldman Haim. I don't know. I mix them up.
Corey Haim.
Yeah. It's a Stephen King short story, and they made it a movie. So if you ever get a chance to check it out, but it's the same thing. The wolf is a monster.
Yeah. No, American Werewolf in London was, so I don't know. I didn't have a lot of like responsible adults in my house growing up, because literally the first 3 movies that we rented when we got a fucking VCR was Eddie Murphy Raw, Evil Dead, and American Werewolf in London. I was about 6 years old when I saw all of these movies.
All of those could be traumatizing.
Seriously. Right. And the scene, and I mean I'm jumping into the actual movie, but that scene you're talking about where you hear the howling, right? Am I right? Is that the
and when they're out in the
it's fucking terrifying. It's, can the guys running down the subway? I mean, we're all from New York. You've been in the subway at night. That's what I think of to this day. If I'm in the subway at night, I think of that fucking scene. But yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. My third one, it's a long ass movie. I don't know. It's one of my favorite movies. A lot of people don't like it. I don't know why, but it's Gangs of New York.
I love that.
It's great. No, it's great. Who doesn't like that?
I've had people complain to me, say it's too long, it's boring, it drags. I think it's fucking great.
Real quick though, my problem, great movie, great actor, everything is great. I just hate that it takes so long for Leonardo DiCaprio to get revenge. Like, dude, you could have done it. Like you actually become friends with the guy and then go out. Like, dude, you could have did it a little earlier.
And then when he did have a shot, he fucked it up. When he waited all that time, and that's what you did. But yeah, that first scene where the Liam Neeson's is shaving, with the knife, and his son is next to him, and they have that like Irish war music playing, and he gives him some like words of wisdom, and he gives him that I don't know, it gives them something to hold on to, and then they start walking through wherever.
You don't wipe the blade.
Yeah, you don't wipe the blade. And then like they're walking through this underground like fucking.
I think that was Jamaican accent.
Whatever that was. Liam Neeson's not Jamaican.
Don't wipe the blade, boy.
Don't wipe the blade, man.
I have a certain set of skills, man.
That would be great.
Can we please remake that?
Yeah, with all cool Runnings accents.
Yeah, right. Clad Bomba, Clad, give me my daughter. So anyway, so then they get to the door, and that's when he meets I forget the actor's name, not John C. Reilly, but the other dude with the bat that he puts all the fucking marks on when he kills someone. and he, even though he's Irish and he's on their side, he's all about the money. And he like has a conversation, I forget what it was about, with Liam Neeson, but he basically paid him, and then he's like fucking kicks the door open and it's just dead quiet and just a snowy scene, and you're like, what the fuck? And then people just start piling out of buildings and shit, and then you see the other ones and they do that standoff, and that's when you first see the butcher, who's Daniel Day-Lewis is like my favorite actor, top 3 for me. So yeah, that for me was an awesome intro to a movie, and set the tone, I think. But it just took, like Ep said, it just took way too long to come to
no, but it's something conclusion. About the nostalgia of seeing old New York.
Yes.
Yes. You know, I think I can as a New Yorker, I can tolerate it. Because I love because I used to live in the seaport, so the cobblestone, like everything, that's where it took place.
Or
it's like
Lower East Side. How much we spent so much time in the Lower East Side and the history there, the Bowery, and all that. And everything that's still there, like it's crazy.
When I worked for FedEx, I mean, my job was there. Like I looked up the map and I was like, holy shit, it's not even the 5 points anymore. It's like the 3 points. Two of those streets aren't there anymore. But it's like, was that Worth and like basically where City Hall is? And I'm like, man, that's a trip to think that was the slums. That was the ghetto. It was literally downtown. The
most expensive zip code now.
Yeah, no, like Midtown and Uptown. Like this was before Lafayette came and leveled the city. It was on a hill, so the shit, there was no sewer system. So the shit and piss used to roll downhill into the gutters, into the slums downtown, where it's now like fucking, you know, financial.
And Broadway was just a dirt road that went all the way uptown.
And Canal Street was an actual canal.
Yeah,
it eventually got filled. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's was it The History of New York? Was that docuseries? I want to say it's The History of New York. It's as people born and raised in New York, you have to watch it because there's so much interesting shit. It does a huge, like a deep dive, even into where they get, you know, Richmond County, like the names, Kings County. It explains all that stuff. It's really cool. I'll double check and get the name.
There's a podcast you should listen to as well. It talks about the grid of New York and how New York is one big grid and how they came about it. And I was like, what? And just learning like all these intricacies of this. So it's actually pretty interesting to learn about New York.
They did it to make it simple to sell land.
Yeah,
they just did it in numbers. So, you know, people that didn't understand English.
And Central Park was really by accident because there was no green up there. They wanted to sell everything by the water. I didn't think anybody would want anything inland. And so it was like, no, we need something more, especially when the weather hits and everything. It's like, oh, and then Central Park came to life.
Crazy.
And I was like, that's crazy. Just that thought process of that.
Yeah,
that's a good idea, Joe, for the other podcast, the No More Lies podcast. We'll do like a fake history of New York City.
Oh my god!
Just make everything up.
That's awesome.
Everybody else does. Yeah. The thing is, you can make things up as long as you put it on the internet. Once you get it on the internet, it's true.
It becomes true. If you believe it, it's true.
Yeah.
So, Nick, do you have a third one, and then?
My third one.
Shout out to Nick for going off the dome.
Yeah, seriously.
Word. Freestyling this whole thing right now. My third one would have to be. I think this is one of my favorites. It's an anime actually.
Ghostbusters?
Akira. No, Akira.
Oh yes!
Wow.
That whole anime is.
That was my first anime.
That was a lot of people's first anime.
Mine too.
Mine too. That broke me in so many places. I was like,
yeah.
As a
that
kid,
really broke me.
As a kid, like I used to like sci-fi was really good back in the day. So they would have Akira, then Vampire Hunter D.
My favorite. That's my favorite.
Robot Carnival, which was pretty interesting. And another one called Cashin, or some craziness like that. But Akira, everything about that is ridiculous.
Did you see it in the movie theaters, or did you see it like on?
No, I saw it on VHS. On VHS, because I couldn't go into a movie theater and watch that. I don't even think they were playing that in Trinidad when I was a kid. To be honest,
it was a bunch of It was a bunch of guys that dressed like Ro in those theaters.
Careful.
Word.
Be careful.
Sunglasses.
hoodies and glasses.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Honestly, I thought it was a
90-degree
weather. And then I'm looking around. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of creepy.
Good job, bro.
Bad idea.
Yep. I saw Akira. My cousin David took me to see that in the movie theaters. When I tell you, my brain exploded in the movie, like, because it goes everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And as a young kid, I was like probably 11 or 12 at the time. I didn't know half this. I was like, what from cursing to the sex scenes, like chopping heads off, blood everywhere. I mean, it was just like all over the place. I was like in one movie. And then the motorcycle scene, the action, I was just like, what do I do with this? Who can I talk to about this? It's like seeing Inception, right? When you saw Inception for the first time, you didn't have somebody to talk to. Who can I talk to about this? Because I'm fucked up right now.
Yeah, no, Inception fucked me up. That's a whole nother thing. Because one of my biggest fears.
That's a good intro. That's a good intro. Honorable mention.
Inception is pretty good.
Yeah.
What was your other honorable mention, Joe?
So this one is really it's really obscure, and I'd be surprised if anybody aside from my family has heard of it. It's an animated movie. It came out in the 80s, I want to say. It's called BC Rock. Now,
you're on your own there, buddy. You on your own.
I know I am. Now the movie starts off. It
was a comic strip first. That's what it
was. Yeah. Right. So it starts off with like 3 sets of like 2 rocks and like kind of like this desert sort of, right? And these like they're smooth rocks, right? And then the title, I believe, pops up, and then the rocks start moving, like rotating. You're like, what the fuck? And you come to find out they're not rocks, they were ass cheeks. And they were just people who were buried. Yes, this is how the movie starts.
Yeah.
So the whole premise of the and mind you, I was about 5. Right? So I'm thinking it's a cartoon. I've never seen naked cartoon. Like they always have something on, right? The whole basis or premise of the movie is they're explaining the dawn of man, how we went from, dinosaurs to humans, and it was that funky period,
evolution,
right? And it's that funky period where humans are still alive at the same time as dinosaurs, at least in this cartoon world, and it's sick. The comedy is sick. It's like American anime, because sometimes anime like they get a little graphic with shit, and they like kind of, but it's not. It's not Japanese made. It was made here in the States. It's called BC Rock. Go to YouTube and check it out.
I'm watching the intro right now. What the fuck?
My experience was the same thing like Joe. Same thing. I remember standing in the doorway while my older brother and my dad were watching. My older brother put my dad onto it. He's like, "No, you gotta check this out." And they kicked us out. They're like, get out. And so I think it was like me and my brother. We're watching from like the back doorway.
I just love Ro's reaction.
It's butt cheeks. It's butt. It's
a
butt.
Because one butt cheek goes this. It goes. And he's like, yo, what's up?
The hell?
All right.
Man, I gotta check that out.
It's a good movie. Oh, and real quick before we go, I think one of the funniest outros, and it's not even the ending of a movie, but credits. 22 Jump Street. The ending where they talk about the sequels. Yeah. That shit was funny.
Yeah,
I mean, I granted I think I was pretty drunk when I watched it, but I was
it was pretty funny just them talking about what they were gonna do.
Yeah, so that was
even Johnny Depp on the set when he was like, "Oh, they killed me,"
Yeah.
It was great to get those guys back.
Yeah. Oh man, I was so happy to see them.
Listening to the Woken Up Woken Podcast.